Have you ever even played? You know
yes,
what?
I played baseball.
No. You
played baseball in high school.
No.
And I played Little League.
Everybody played Little League. Yes, I did.
Baseball?
Baseball.
And
you played softball at
that's
6
it.
years old.
And
You
that's
ain't
it.
played baseball.
That's
You
it.
played softball.
That's the furthest your career went.
Welcome to Get Your Popcorn Ready with your host, Hatch, and my boy,
Tebow.
We got Adrian Gonzalez coming in the building today, former Major League Baseball player.
I'm loving this because there's a hot topic right now. It's a hot button.
We gonna get into it?
Oh yeah, the sign stealing.
With the cheating?
Yeah, I want to get his take on, if they should be stripped of their championship or not, their ring. Get rid of their rings and put an asterisk by their so-called championship win, especially when you've been caught cheating.
Well, you know what they say: if you ain't cheating, you ain't trying.
I think it's a bad message.
Yes, that was not for the kids. That was rated R. That comment right there. Adrian Gonzalez coming up on Get Your Popcorn Ready. Subscribe on the Himalaya app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Yep.
Yeet. Welcome to Get Your Popcorn Ready with the host, Hatch, and
no, it's just Get Your Popcorn Ready with T.O. and Hatch.
No,
let it be known.
No.
We see the screen right there. Whose name is first, Adrian?
That's yours.
All right, that's all that matters. That's all that matters.
Whose name should be first,
of all,
Adrian?
Hey,
I don't know. We'll ask the producer.
Hey, first of all, who did you know, T.O. or Hatch, prior to coming here?
Ooh.
Hey,
I mean, I gotta be honest.
You know what?
I gotta be honest. When I was told about the podcast, it was like, "Hey, T.O. is doing it."
Right. So, that's cool. That's cool. But when you leave here, I'm gonna be your boy. You're like, I really ain't messing with T. He's kind of, you know what I'm saying. But that's how we do on Get Your Popcorn Ready. Got our host today, Adrian Gonzalez.
No, he's the guest. He's not the host.
The host. I said guest.
No, you said host.
I said host.
Yes, you did.
Welcome to Get Your Popcorn Ready. I'm your host, Hatch, with my boy T.O., and our guest here today is Adrian Gonzalez.
Adrian. And for all you guys out there, please subscribe to Get Your Popcorn Ready podcast on the Himalaya app or
wherever you get your podcasts.
Yes, absolutely.
I got you, dog. You know what I'm saying? I got you in your little pink hoodie.
Yeah.
But no, thanks for coming on.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks for coming on the show. We're going to talk a little baseball today, right?
There you
got
go.
the baseball
season
coming up, right?
Yeah.
So then what? Training camp right now. So when's the season officially start this year?
Oh, no. We can't start right there. We got to start with the elephant in the room.
What's the elephant in the room besides you?
No.
What?
The elephant in the room is this scandal, the Astros scandal, the sign stealing.
Okay, so we going to start there.
We starting
That's a sensitive subject with him because he was on the team.
Exactly.
Okay, well, let's start there.
Exactly. That's why we want to, I want to
elephant in the room.
Elephant in the room.
Okay.
All right.
So what's your
take on it right now? What's going on right now?
I mean, obviously everything that's coming out, that they were doing things that were, above and beyond, what teams were allowed to do. Obviously, hitting trash cans and making noises to let hitters know what's coming, and some of the statistics that are coming out with what they were able to do at home versus the road in the playoffs specifically, made a huge difference. But again, we talk about teams doing things to get away with it and winning championships, right?
Right. Does it make it worse that it was for the ring, or it would have been okay if it was during regular season? Does that make it a little bit worse?
I mean, what makes it worse is that they won.
Right.
Because if they would have lost, then it would have been like, well, they were cheating, but it still didn't work.
Right.
So the fact that they won, I think that's what made it the worst, for sure.
Right. And I feel like as an athlete, if I lost a championship due to somebody cheating, bro, I'm gonna be hot. I'm gonna be irate. And obviously, a lot of the guys that around the league have been voicing their opinion, one way or the other about it. And there have been some guys, some notable names that have come out and they just said, I mean, yeah, if you know what's coming, you're gonna be dialed in to a certain pitch, and you're gonna know how to hit that ball.
Yeah, or lay off of it if it's a really tough pitch that ends up being a ball.
Right, exactly.
Sure.
So again, so clearly, if somebody knows what's coming, if you know what is coming, your percentages
gonna go way up,
100%.
way up.
Yeah.
And if you're
100%.
a guy that's hitting, just say 50 something plus home runs a year, just say throughout the course of the season, how many more home runs do you think you will hit, knowing that you know what's coming? Just say if you're 50 plus.
I wouldn't even say home runs, because you can't really turn knowing into home runs, but you can definitely square the ball up better. And so you've seen some of the guys that have left the Astros. There's been about 5 or 10 of them. Their numbers have gone completely down now that they've left the Astros and gone to other teams. So
they don't know what's coming now.
Well, that was definitely something that was helping them. So,
does it make you angry though now?
Does it make me angry? One of the things is that, every team does in one way or another has a form of relaying signs from second base. So that part of it is already in play. Whether it's using technology or not, the guy at second base is always either relaying signs or the pitch or the location if the catcher sets up too early or all those things. So that there's already that. But when somebody's using it with nobody on base, then it takes away the fact that you have to be on first or second base to be able to relay it. So then, that there's a little piece that does make you angry, but that it's not just every team is doing something with runners on base. Right. But there's that element of you have to get on base first.
Right.
And not necessarily using technology. They're just using some stuff that you go over in the meeting beforehand, and you say, hey, if this happens, and so now the hitter, when they're hitting, they're peeking at the runners and looking at that. So
two separate games.
That's that's been in baseball since baseball started.
Right, because I played baseball. I'm sure he's not aware of this. So when you're in the batter's box or whatever the case may be, you have guys, the team that are doing signals with their signals, this and that. And you have somebody in the dugout that may be trying to pick up on what those signals are. You either they may be right or they may not be right.
Yep.
So to now understand, to confirm all these things, and then you have the commissioner, that Rob Manfred, that has come out. I think he has done a disservice to his job as a commissioner. Obviously, there's been some fines and things levied, but to I think kind of just sweep what they did kind of under the rug. For me, I think not only just for the sport of baseball, for any sport, it's just like, okay, if you get caught cheating, you're just gonna get a slap on the wrist.
That's it.
You can still win.
Yep.
I think he's sending the wrong precedent, not only just for the sport of baseball, but just the sport in general.
Yeah.
And I think do you think, in your opinion, they should be stripped of their title?
It's one of those things. I think it goes even beyond that, because there's been a couple teams that have come out and said that they even sent emails and called the MLB offices to let them know before the World Series of 2017.
To make them aware, alert them.
To make them aware, and all they did was send an email.
Wow.
And so instead of really getting to the bottom of it right away, they kind of said, no, it's not happening or whatever. So they started this whole trend. So now it's kind of gotten to a point where it's completely out of control. So it could have been stopped. It could have been stopped.
Right.
Put yourself in the commissioner's shoes, right? What would you do to penalize the team this year?
Ooh, yeah, that's a good question.
Penalize the team this year.
Yeah. Like I said,
because
again, it doesn't sound like you agree with the slap on the wrist. So if you could do somewhat, what would it be? Right?
Yeah, I think.
Yeah,
if you do kind of put an asterisk to the season and say nobody won the World Series, and maybe make all the rings go to donation, for special charity costs.
Yeah, okay. I like that.
Me too, because again, like I said, it goes beyond just the sport of baseball. And
well, the kids,
right?
More than anything.
Exactly, because now you're basically saying, oh, you can cheat, you may get in trouble for it.
But you'll still win. You're still a winner in my eye. You still got the ring. Right. You still got the prestige of being a champion. But even though you cheated a little bit, but you can't send that message to 10-year-olds to saying it's okay.
Right. And I don't think the cheating stops here at this point. They may be reluctant to do it, but I think because of
they'll find a new way.
Right. Just because
maybe
of
not the Astros, but somebody
else.
Right. Because now, just to the precedent that he has set, not taking or stripping the title away, because there's really no consequences other than what the team is going to be fined. Are the players fined, or is it just the team?
Just the team.
See, that's the thing.
Because the players are everywhere else now.
The players,
the money that they got for winning it and the rings, they can't give it back, or if they could give it back, they could still say, well, I can't give it back.
Right, but the players essentially they're not really getting penalized. It's the organization. I mean, yeah, they may get some backlash, but at the end of the day, no money's coming out of their pocket.
Yeah,
so it's like, okay, yeah, we can cheat as long as we get away with it. I mean, it doesn't matter. We still gonna get our rings. That's what I don't. That's what I don't like about it.
How big of a black eye do you think it put on the sport of baseball?
Huge. I mean, like, do you really want to take your son right now to a game if you live in Houston and hear all the things that the fans are going to be yelling at the player, or even not even in Houston, if the Astros are playing on the road?
Right.
Do you really want to take your son to a game, sit him close to the Houston Astros dugout, and have your son hear all the stuff that's going to be yelled at those guys?
Yeah.
So it's just from that perspective, it just going to, I mean, people are going to not want to go, and the ones that go are going to want to go for the wrong reasons, not to watch a game, but to start yelling at these guys.
Just to heckle. Because they have signs and stuff they're banning from the stadiums now, right?
Yeah, and so, like, I mean, for me, it's like I wouldn't want to go to a game, just to hear these people that, have these anger towards a team,
and players,
and players, exactly. So it's just really bad for baseball for sure.
Right,
it kills it.
Yeah, it's like if you take the Patriots, Spygate, and all, it doesn't seem like those things were clear as this was clear. It's like for the video of your man saying, I got a wire on as he comes to home plate was just a clear visual. The Spygate thing, there's still no video of Bill Belichick sitting there doing
no concrete evidence.
No concrete evidence, but there was concrete evidence of a cheating happening right in front of us at the moment.
There's the video of the guys set up next to the dugout. The wire stuff, I don't think has been proven.
Okay.
So you can't blame,
because he's just saying he was doing something with his shirt or something.
He's saying, don't rip my shirt, because my wife was really mad last time that you guys ripped my shirt in front of the whole stadium.
Do you believe that statement?
I do know some guys that are very like, like that. So I'm not gonna have an opinion either way, because it would just be, hearsay. But the pictures of the setup next to the dugout, those are there. There's the trash can. They have the towels covering, so you can't see it from the field. That's clear for sure.
Wow. Yeah, so you just retired, right, last year?
Haven't officially retired.
Are you officially retiring?
I will officially retire at some point, just not yet.
So you're open to coming, so you can come back this year?
To play baseball, yes.
Yes.
Okay. Would you like to, given the opportunity?
I am not going to come back to play in Major League Baseball, no. Okay. But I'm still going to play baseball.
Okay, explain that. I hear you, but I'm still confused. You know what I'm saying?
Well, there's more than Major League Baseball. There's Japanese baseball. There's Mexican league. So there's a bunch of leagues out there. There's a possibility of playing in the Olympics this year for Team Mexico. Awesome. So there's some definitely possibilities out there for me for this year. I still got to make sure and try to get myself. I'm working out a lot, getting being in shape and. If I do decide to pursue possibly the Olympics, I would have to go play somewhere to make sure that I'm in baseball shape before I can officially say I'll play for Team Mexico in the Olympics. Right. I'm not just gonna go play and make myself look terrible out there. So I got to go out there and play some games and at some high level capacity and prove that I can still do it.
Right. Now, okay, so you said, you're not going to play in Major League here, right? But what if they did call? What would be the answer? Is it a solid no, or somebody calls middle of the season?
It's a little bit with the debate we've been having. If it's close to home, I'll do it.
Okay.
If it's not close to home, there's no chance.
Right. Okay, so where's home? Where's home for you?
Right here in LA. So there you got the Angels.
So you got the Angels, the Padres.
You got all these
Dodgers,
West Coast teams. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oakland A's.
Yeah.
Even Giants.
Arizona. Yeah.
Okay. Anything out here and get some of that heat.
Anything within the Southwest slide.
There you go.
Exactly.
And that's a wifey decision. I take it, right? So you're married. How many kids you got?
I got 2 girls. 6
2
and 8.
girls. Nice. Yeah. You got them around baseball and softball and all that right now?
Yeah. The older one did baseball last year. She's doing club soccer right now. The little one just started t-ball yesterday, and she's more like artistic and into art and crafts and singing and dancing. But she surprised me yesterday with a baseball swing. So
really?
It was good. Yeah.
Okay. So the youngest ones, you know, that they're always the most talented. You know, they see it and they pick it up so quick.
Do.
So now, did they enjoy going? You always had them coming to the games and all that.
Yeah.
That was
The younger one always tells me, "Daddy, I want you to go play for the Dodgers again." And I say, "Oh, really? Why?" Because I want to eat Dodger dogs.
There you go. Yeah, that's the reason. That's the reason.
That's her reasoning. So
I love it. I love it. So they were showing like some things, you know, rest in peace, what Kobe did before before he passed, and his daughter wanted him to come to the school on Bring Your Dad to School Day, and he was dressed in the whole Laker uniform. You know what I'm saying? Shorts and top, and shoes
that's
on
awesome.
and everything. So when your kids ask you to do something, hey, you know what time
do
it is.
Especially girls.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
So their favorite is the Dodgers. So what team would you say you had, I guess, the best experience with, or your favorite team that you've played with?
I would say both the Dodgers and the Padres. The two. I mean, I'm from San Diego, and I was able to play at home on a team that really wasn't expected to win. And out of the 5 years I was there, we won 3 years. So you play with the team that has very little expectations, and you play well, way above beyond what is expected. So that's the Padres experience, and then being able to play at home base, home crowd. Really love that experience. And then you come to the Dodgers with a team that's really expected to win, and you fulfill those expectations to win the divisions and be able to go to the playoffs. So two different styles of game, but they're both great because one you weren't expected to, you win. The other one you are expected to, and you still win.
So with that being said, what about the pressure? So was the pressure more just to play at home with the San Diego Padres, or was the pressure a little bit more with the Dodgers because they're expected to win? But then, like I said, you're in your backyard in San Diego, even though you said they weren't really expected to win. So is that less pressure for you?
It was less pressure. I think you end up just enjoying the moment a little more because you're riding the wave of like, we're really doing this, where with the Dodgers, it was, the ton of fun because we were winning as expected. And so with winning breeds, great culture and great times on the field and in the clubhouse. But you lose a couple games and then you're like, no, we can't. You start having those team meetings and like, no, we got to get ourselves back on track. And so like, there's always a little more, added pressure when there is expectations, which is good for you because it allows you to stay in line. How
did you like Magic as an owner?
Oh, Magic's unbelievable.
Yeah, great owner, right? Great person.
Such a mentor and just, somebody you can always lean on. We had some great conversations about leadership and, just different things that he said that always stuck to me. And it's always a pleasure to see him and say hi to him.
All right, good. So take us back a little bit. How'd your career start? Like, when did you know like you had a chance for, Major League Baseball, professional baseball?
I would say probably single A. I was the first overall pick out of high school in 2000.
That's major.
So, but I didn't see myself that way. It was one of those things where I in baseball there's like 60 rounds, 50 rounds.
Right, some crazy.
So the rounds, like the top 10 rounds is like really good. Like you don't have to be a first rounder to be really good. But I saw myself like a 5th to 10th round pick. And then as the season went on, so
you were in high school at this time, right?
Yeah, senior year of high school.
What high school was this?
East Lake High School down in Chula Vista, close to the border in San Diego.
Okay.
And as the season went on, I started doing really well, and everybody started talking about how my stock
was rising
or whatnot.
Right.
And by the time the draft came around, a week before the draft, I got the call to say that I was going to be the first overall pick, and it was a total shock to me.
Wow. Did you have an agent at the time? I don't know how baseball works when it comes to agents and being in high school.
You have a verbal agreement.
Okay.
Until you decide to sign and go to professional baseball, that's when you sign the agreement with the player, with the agent. So, but even that, I went to minor league ball, and I still didn't see myself. I was a young kid, 18 years old.
Right.
Obviously, had the dream to play in the big leagues, but. The first year I did all right, and then the second year I was MVP of the single A league, and then that's when I was like, okay, I feel like I got a real chance of getting there now. Got
some talent, right? So what were your parents saying like during this process? Like I said, it's in football and basketball, I've been around the most, but I can't imagine what the the parents are when you're a senior in high school and you're coming home with talking to professional teams. You know, that's a whole different beast.
My dad played a little bit of semi-pro, like professional, but not fully professional baseball in Mexico. So that was his dream. That's why we were born in the U.S. So we could play MLB without being taken as a Mexican. Mm-hmm. And so that was his dream from the get-go. And I'm the youngest of three, so you know, we were fortunate that my middle brother Edgar was able to make it to the major leagues as well. So
how many years did he play? Edgar
he played 2 years in the big leagues and 2 years in Japan.
Nice. Okay.
But yeah, I mean, it was that was his dream, and he basically never allowed us to work like an actual job. He put us in all this training.
You're gonna train. That's your job.
Yeah, that's your job exactly. So, you know, we were brought up as kids to be professional baseball players.
Yeah.
So,
well, it worked out. That's awesome, man.
So
Congratulations
it was great.
to you. What was it?
To my dad and my mom for sure.
18 years. 18 years you played. 18?
I played 15.
15. So the first 4 you don't even count as, or the minor leagues count?
No, that's minor league ball. Yeah.
Speaking of minor leagues, have you been following Tim Tebow?
I did. I got to play with him 2 years ago. I mean, in spring training. I was with the Mets.
So what is your take on Tim Tebow?
Timbo.
Yeah,
Tim got a new nickname. Tim Tebow. It's Timbo.
He is. You know, I got to know him a little bit. Obviously, an unbelievable person. He's got a lot of talent. I think the talent is taking a little longer to translate into actual game action. Mm-hmm.
And what do you think?
I definitely believe he can run the ball for 3 yards if you need him to. You know, he can convert that first down.
Yeah.
So you being a professional and like I said, educating us, like I said, we're a fan of Tim Tebow and obviously his passion to pursue obviously baseball outside of football. What is it from your perspective, you being the professional, what is it going to take for Tim to make that turn to play at the majors? Yeah, because right now he's at the minors. He just, I think, agreed to play or with the Philippines in the World Baseball Classic qualifiers.
Yeah. No, I mean, he definitely got, you know, from like a physical talent wise.
He's a big boy.
You know, but he's a big boy. But like, you know, you guys know, like in football, you guys are way more athletic than we are. Like you run faster, you jump higher, you're stronger. Like you got all these physical athletic abilities that we don't have. Mm-hmm. Right. Well, most of us. I don't have. You know, I can throw a baseball and I can swing a baseball bat.
Yeah, that comes with that
it's
fast twitch
right?
and hand-eye coordination.
But, so he's already like big, strong, fast. He can run the ball down in the outfield. You know, he's got a good enough arm in the outfield. His swing, he's got a lot of power when he generates and when he runs into the ball. I think the only thing he needs is just to be able to shorten up the swing and shore up his timing. If he can shorten up his swing and shore up his timing, then he can be really, really good at making contact,
being effective,
and then the power will come into play.
Right.
But I think his swing right now is just a little long, and that's what gets him in trouble.
Okay.
Yeah, makes sense. Okay. So again, you knowing baseball, do you want to be like in scouting or general manager someday after you get done playing?
Maybe like as a GM. You know, the reason I didn't play last year, I had a couple opportunities to go play in the East Coast, and then that was one of the main reasons, obviously, because it wasn't the West Coast. But it's just the travel.
You just turning down money?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, when he got it like that, yeah.
You just turning down money.
Well,
he's like, I can do that. You know, we'll talk about your other businesses in a minute, but yeah, he can do that.
Yeah. It's just the travel. You know, so like when people are like, would you like to be a manager? And it's like, manager is like a huge passion of mine too, but I just can't see myself traveling that much.
What is it, 182 games?
It's 162 games in 185 days now, and it's just like you're just constantly on the road, and it's just like I got 2 girls, and I just don't want to be away from them.
Yeah.
You know,
family's
it's just
important.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah, so you're trying to implement the girl dad.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, that's one thing that I didn't get to be. I mean, I got to be around a little bit, but not a lot. Right. You know, their first years. And so now that I'm around, it's like I don't want to leave.
Right,
yeah,
exactly.
Especially them getting into, like I said, you're so influential on their career now as being an athlete and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'll all work out, I'm sure. So tell us about some of the other things you're doing off the field, in your spare time now. You got tons of companies, right?
I do.
You got the cigar company, Jersey Mike's, beer company.
Yeah. By the way, thank you for the turkey sandwich.
Oh, you're welcome.
Yeah, we tore that up this morning.
Jersey Mike's is awesome. I mean, one of the best franchises out there. I'm lucky to be a franchisee.
Really? I like Subway.
Do you?
I'm just
wow. There's something wrong with you there.
I mean, whoever go whoever goes cut that sponsorship check, that's who we like.
No, I mean,
I like Jersey Mike's though.
Yeah, we got 11 stores. We're taking them into Mexico, and so that's a big project. Calidad beer. The beer company's doing really well. Just passed the 1 year mark, and we have.
So what's Calidad beer? What?
It's a Mexican style lager.
Okay.
Brewed in Santa Barbara and distributed all over Southern California. We just opened up distribution in Northern California, going into Arizona, but. It's
Calidad. What does that mean?
It's a Mexican style lager. Calidad means quality.
Quality. Okay.
Yeah,
quality beer.
Yeah, I knew it was something.
You didn't know what you was getting.
It
sounds Spanish. So it means something.
Exactly. So that's me.
Horrible question.
No, that's horrible. Would you think that's a horrible question? I would like to know what Calidad means to understand what it is he's talking about.
We speak Spanish.
You didn't even know what it is.
I did.
Calidad. You probably thought it was calisthenics or something. You probably thought it was an exercise.
I honestly thought it was something with California Dad.
Okay. All right. Well, it's just calidad is quality.
That's a way more educated guess than yours was, though. So
I didn't have a guess.
I know. That's why it was better. That's what I just said.
That's why I asked.
This guy. Anyway.
Quality beer. I like that.
Yeah.
Baseball players, y'all love beer. That's
a thing.
It's a thing.
Yeah, we like beer. I mean, when you have a late game and sometimes you got to wake up early the next day, something's got to put you to sleep, right?
I thought you were going to say wake you up. You drink beer in the morning?
Right. I'm like, man, beer's their coffee.
Right? Golly. So how'd the beer thing start, though? Is a passion of yours? Did you take
Mexicans, they love beer.
Yeah, we do love beer. So. No, just a really good friend of mine, Josh Zad from, he owns the Alfred's Coffees all over town. He wanted to start something aside from coffee, and he was going into the Mexican beer category, so he asked me to be a part, and I was like, yeah, absolutely, I'd love to be a partner of yours. So
nice. That's awesome. What else you got? Got cigars too.
The cigar one is coming out June. Again, just a friend, mutual friendship that he produces cigars. He produces cigars for Dominic Wilkins and Tiago Splitter. And so, we came to an agreement, and I love cigars, and he's making some unbelievable cigars for me under my name. So it's,
nice. What's the name of the cigar company? Can you tell us that?
MXS. MXS is the label, and then it's under. So Dominic Wilkins is MXX. Dominic Wilkins. So mine's gonna be MXS. Adrian Gonzalez / El Titan.
And he doesn't know who Tiago Splitter is, but
do you know who Tiago Splitter is?
Yeah, I do. He plays basketball.
Yeah.
Where?
He plays for the Spurs.
That's right.
When did he get drafted?
It doesn't matter. You didn't know who he was.
No, he shoots the three all the time. He don't go nowhere except the 3-point line. I know exactly who he is. Homeboy.
That doesn't mean
that was a
nice guess.
Welcome to Get Your Popcorn Ready. We here having a great time with Adrian Gonzalez.
I have a question in regards to like Hall of Fame. Obviously, there's been a lot of controversy with Pete Rose not making it, and then a good friend of mine, Barry Bonds.
Yeah.
What is your take on? Obviously, I in a sense, at some point you would think that they would almost kind of like feel sorry for Pete Rose, not necessarily fear, but have some type of empathy for what they've taken him through over the years. I know, like I said, it's like we're talking about the cheating stuff, sign stealing.
Right.
They penalized this dude for what he did. So it's like, why don't they penalize the Astros for what they did? This is almost like a lifetime ban for this guy. And Barry Bonds,
Yeah, I mean, I think that, I think you go in the Hall of Fame for what you do on the field. I mean, don't get me started in the whole Hall of Fame committee and, who votes him on and what happens. Don't get me started. Don't get me started.
Yeah, and he gonna shed a tear if you start talking about it.
I think the players should have a Hall of Fame. I think the players should vote for the players for the Hall of Fame because, somebody doesn't vote for Derek Jeter's not unanimous because somebody didn't vote for him because they didn't think he needs to be unanimous. It's like, come on, really? Like,
dumb reason.
Yeah.
I mean, they just
dumb reason.
It's I don't understand. I think players should vote for players, and they should say you were the best of my era, and you need to be in the Hall of Fame. And if somebody wants to put a different Hall of Fame and say like, oh, you did this, this, and this, and you're not in the Hall of Fame, that could be that could be for the writers.
The players only Hall of Fame in every sport.
Exactly.
That's the
so
solution.
is it similar process with MLB like NFL? The writers.
It's all writers.
It's all writers.
It's all writers. So like, if a writer doesn't like you, they don't vote for you. Regardless, it doesn't matter what you do.
He knows about that.
Oh, trust me, I know firsthand what that's like. And Barry Bonds, and like considering what Barry Bonds.
I mean, Barry's probably the greatest of all time.
And this dude hasn't even. He can't get in.
Yeah, but that's my point. It's like us, the players, we know he's the greatest of all time.
Right,
so what?
Right. What's it matter?
So what? Like you don't need a plaque in Cooperstone to know that you were the best.
Right.
Like, you know what
That's
I mean?
how I feel. I'm not in the hall, but I was the best in my opinion. That's all that matters. My opinion.
That's right.
Shut it up. Just shut it up.
You don't
shut
ride
it
that
up.
wave, Adrian. You just
So let me ask you.
Best at nothing related
you're
to
the
football.
best at hating. That's what you're the best.
Football player at this table, and you're the best baseball.
I think I'm finding out what is the best at.
Talking
That's
shit.
backstroking right up in there.
Exactly. That's what he is.
So do you have aspirations? Would you like to be in the hall one day?
No, it's definitely not something that I'm like holding any breath for or anything. You know,
It happens. If not,
Yeah,
you had a great career. And,
I don't need validation from something like that. So it's I'm not holding my breath hoping for anything like that.
Yep, gotcha. Yeah,
He isn't either.
Hey, I'm in the hall. I'm in my high school Hall of Fame. I'm in my college Hall of Fame. Amsterdam Admirals, which was NFL Europe Hall of
there you
Fame.
go.
I made them all except the NFL. But you know what? I don't need no validation. Like you just said. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna be sitting there crying to the committee, hey, why'd you guys let me in the Hall of Fame? Like this guy was.
No, I wasn't crying.
I know.
I was just basically giving. No, I know what you're saying, but yeah, I was just letting them know, like, give me what I rightfully earned.
Yeah. Did you know anything about that story? Since you're on the West Coast, did you know about T not getting in and all that? Anything?
Yeah, so they had the Hall of Fame. I ended up getting in, but I didn't go to the ceremony.
Okay.
I held my own ceremony at my college.
Okay.
Where I felt like I was accepted. People knew me.
Yeah.
And
first time ever.
And yeah,
nobody even ever thought about doing something.
Well, they've thought about it and talked about it, but nobody ever pulled the trigger.
No.
Nobody ever followed through.
Yeah. Right.
Like I've talked to a few Hall of Famers prior to me getting in, like Ricky Jackson and some other guys. They said that, oh yeah, I thought about it. You know, I wasn't gonna go, and then it was almost like, okay, they just gave. Yeah, they gave in once they was nominated or inducted. And then it was like, oh, okay, yeah. No, you're not gonna continue to disrespect me, considering I'm like. Now I can say that because I was one of the greatest to play this game. When I know that I didn't even have any ambitions or didn't think I would play beyond the collegiate level, and to be able to achieve what I did, then yeah. Give me what I earned.
Yeah. Controlling your own brand. I like it.
Exactly.
You got it. You got a little.
And he was on the fence initially when I was like I wasn't going to do it. He goes, "No, you can't do that, man."
To physically go to the ceremony, I was like, "You got to go." And then over a couple months,
right when I broke it down as to why
the reason behind it, it was a real reason.
Yeah, and then the Hall of Fame is not what it's all, what people think it is.
Because it's not the players.
It's not so glamorous.
Exactly.
And then players got to pay for their own party and all types of stuff. Yeah. When the NFL is like a $16 billion industry.
A year, yeah, $16 billion a year.
And it's under the umbrella of the NFL. So why wouldn't you be able to use some of those funds to celebrate the players that are making up your game?
Yep.
Why would we have to pay to celebrate our own accomplishments? That makes no sense.
Yep. So speak, like saying you like other sports, right? You watch. Is baseball your favorite sport, or do you love football or love basketball as well?
From a fan standpoint, probably football and
to
soccer.
watch, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Soccer too.
Oh, soccer.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So who's your favorite team?
Football?
Yeah.
Chargers.
Yeah. Oh, here you go. Who you think is coming to the Chargers for quarterback?
Well, let's hope it's Brady.
Tom, you think? Okay, so here, make your pitch on bringing Tom Brady to the LA Chargers. Let's look into the camera right there. give him your pitch. Tom, what you go tell Tom if he was walking in the door right now to come to the LA Chargers?
What would I tell Tom?
Yeah, what would you tell Tom to get him to the LA Chargers?
I mean, what can I promise other than I'll be at the field when you're out there?
You and your Caladad beer, right?
You can get all the beer you want.
All the beer you want. There you go. That's the sale.
Yeah.
You and Giselle, all the beer.
But yeah, I mean, I would say, you know what? We'll give Giselle all the Mia Bakar shoes she wants.
That's how you sell. See, he went through the wife to get the. That's how you do it.
Smart guy.
Yeah.
Smart guy.
Yeah, Mia Bakar is my wife's shoe line. So.
Oh, okay. There you go. Nice plug. Nice plug. I like it.
But I think a better fit for Tom would be the Cowboys.
Wrong.
How do you figure?
How do you figure?
How do I figure?
Mm-hmm.
This is me speaking from logic. This is not from a fan perspective.
This is when everybody's turning off the podcast, right?
Cool. That's good. Turn your mic off and everything else too. If you look at what Tom Brady did with less over the years that he's won championships, he didn't have the great offensive line or great running back or defense like what the Cowboys have now.
He had some great defenses.
He had some.
Yeah.
But he was at the forefront. Him and Belichick was for one of those championships, especially the one that they came back from 25 down against the Falcons. Right. So if you think about and you factor, knowing that you've watched the San Diego Chargers the last couple of years under the head coaching of
Anthony Lynn,
based on what the Dallas Cowboys have in tow with their line, with their running back, with the receivers that they have, which is far better than
it's not.
I'm talking.
But you're talking blasphemy.
Which is far better than what he Chargers had when he had in New England, and far better than what he has now or would have with the Chargers.
The Chargers
have way more talent.
That's what I'm trying. Do you look at their roster? They have way more talent.
How? What do you mean?
Do you know what they have? He has on the outside, right? 2 6'4", 6'5" receivers.
Allen. Nobody knows.
And Mike Williams. What do you mean
Keenan
nobody
Allen,
knows?
Mike
He's
Williams,
a Pro Bowler.
Hunter
He's one of
Henry,
the
Austin Eckler.
Keenan
the
Allen.
tight end, running back, and one of the best defenses in the NFL. So therefore, they have one of the better full teams. They have a way better two tight ends, better roster than Dallas Cowboys, hands down.
When you finish all that, and when you finish listening to all that, with all that you just said, why didn't they make the playoffs?
Why didn't
they had injuries this year, and
what are you talking about? Injuries.
And
why didn't they make the playoffs?
Okay, because that's kind of let's say that's a cop out. They did have the best team in the
Cowboys
NFL
record?
in the conference.
What was the Cowboys' record? If that's going to go your point.
No. So my point.
Right.
No.
They didn't.
No. But
with so much more talent, but they ain't going to the playoffs ever.
But my point is bringing in Tom Brady.
So is ours.
So that's what I'm saying. He's a better.
He has a better situation with the Cowboys than he does with the San Diego Chargers.
Dak Prescott is at the Dallas Cowboys. Therefore,
your
your conversation is null and void.
If that's the case, then why haven't they signed Dak Prescott?
Because they don't want to sign Dak.
Why?
Because maybe they haven't seen enough. But either way, they're at least going to.
They haven't seen enough. They saw something with Tony Romo.
So what?
And without Tony Romo.
Just because is it 3 years or 4 years? He's on his third or fourth year. Is Dak? I want to say 4.
I will give you the number one reason that I was saying. Why would he go to Dallas? Because if he's going to go to Dallas, he might as well just go back to New England. Because they live here in L.A.
Oh.
Tom and
Giselle.
Yeah, I get that.
And that's a big piece of it. That's a huge piece, right? The comfortability of staying home in this beautiful weather in Southern California.
But he wouldn't have to deal with weather with the Cowboys because they play inside.
But he has to travel.
He's got to travel.
So what? You got to travel anyway.
He's not going. He's not going back to New England. He's going to stay right here in L.A. You know what?
With Tom Brady and his stature, he doesn't. Dude, he's a couple of hour flight away from here.
You don't know
in Dallas. You don't know what you're talking about.
He doesn't know what he's talking about.
You manipulated this guy prior to me getting in here.
I manipulated him.
Well, great minds think alike. You know what I'm saying? That's all that is.
It's not hard to manipulate him.
Wow.
He's really gullible about anything. But I'm telling you, it makes more sense because
it makes zero sense because Dak Prescott is the starting quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys, and you're not going to sacrifice the next 10 years
right now.
But he will be. They'll either franchise him or sign him to a big deal, and they're going to say, you're worth having to be here for the next 10 years, and we're not going to sign somebody for a 1 or 2 year deal. It does not make sense.
Right, but if they were committed to Dak Prescott.
They are committed. It just hasn't happened the way it should have happened. I agree. He should be a $100 million guy.
They were committed to Zeke, and it took him to hold out and do all this other stuff to sign them. I think that's a Jerry Jones play, the way he plays it.
And guess what? Dak already knows that, and everything that they've put on the table for Dak, and it wasn't acceptable for him, he said no. So they already know going in, this is going to be a problem. It's going to be a bigger problem if your quarterback hold out versus your running back.
He should hold out.
And that's why.
But he hasn't. He didn't have the kahunas as Zeke had. Zeke said, I'm not coming.
But now he's not under contract.
I think he's under contract. I think he's going into his fourth year. I don't want to get that wrong.
Right, but the thing is, he already saw what went on with Dak.
It was his 4th year because they're going to franchise.
Exactly.
So he'll be under contract.
So don't you think
he'll franchise
Dak
tag.
is very smart in this situation? You think that they're going to go into a season without their starting quarterback?
He's going to be franchised. They're going to franchise him. So
And
he's under contract.
And he still can hold out, franchise or not.
And then he should hold out Le'Veon Bell, right?
Franchise, it's a different when you got a quarterback and a running back. Your quarterback is running the team.
Exactly. That's why he should do it. That's what I'm saying. And he's going to, and then they'll pay him the money. But he's going to get his $100 million. Just didn't get it. It didn't happen yet. You know what I'm saying? But he's not. Either way, Tom Brady's not going to Dallas.
He's not going to the Chargers either.
Would you like to make a bet, sir?
Yeah, he's more apt to go to the doggone Cowboys than he will the Chargers. It just makes more sense.
Do you want to make a bet?
It just makes more sense.
What do you want to bet, sir?
You've never paid up on your bets anyway.
What?
You owe me for the skateboard. You haven't even paid up on that.
You didn't go 100. So this was the bet.
I did go 100 feet.
No, you didn't. You went about 50.
No, I didn't. Do
you want to go measure?
Yeah, you get your ruler out.
You can't stay on the board longer than 100 feet going down this hill. He probably went about 50, maybe 75. Then he fell off and almost broke his neck.
No, I didn't.
Right. So then
I'm an athlete.
That means I won the bet.
No,
but he thinks he went. So was it 200 yards? You went now all of a sudden. He went like 50 yards.
Get your measuring tape out. Go out there and measure it.
All right.
We ain't got to use no measuring tape. Just use your forehead. We'll just use your forehead.
How about we just use your lips? How about that? Just stretch those out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Welcome to Get Your Popcorn Ready. We got our guy, Adrian.
You all new to this. Sorry to throw you into that fire, brother, but this is what we do.
I just don't have the confidence to throw some jazz in there.
No, you can throw them at him anytime you want. I will help you out, brother.
Throw them on in here, man.
This is what we do, man.
But that's
kind of like locker room talk,
it
right?
Is, it is.
Right?
And it's good to get an interesting take or a different take from a baseball player that watches football. That kind of see what you think based on what you know, your favorite team. And
I just even if it wasn't my favorite team, I think the family factor is the biggest factor.
Yeah, and I agree with that. Just for the fact that what year is this for Tom?
He's 20. He's 20. He's 20.
Yeah, so
he's 42 years old.
And I get that. And for that part, like I said, I'm reasonable. I can agree to disagree, but with that, I will agree with that.
But if I would have said it, he would have disagreed. You see what I'm saying?
No, because I mean, that's possible that the fact that he would kind of take that into consideration, especially at this stage in his career.
Yeah, I mean, when you can stay home, even if it's 10 extra days, it's 10 extra days at home.
Especially
right.
Being able to drop off your kids every day at school.
Man, like I said, and then travel like on your body and all that. Because like I said, once you get to that age, like just traveling and getting off a plane is, you kind of get a little bit more.
I didn't feel none of that. I didn't get old.
You feel it now.
I didn't get old when I played. He got old while he played. So that's why he's feeling shit. Who says about a plane ride? That's just part of your job. Get your ass on the plane. I didn't play.
What was your when you was 38?
Yeah, something like that.
How old were you when you were playing last year?
I'm 37 now.
37. Did you feel? Is your body starting to feel every little bit, or you still feel?
Well,
pretty
baseball's
good?
different because you're traveling constant.
Right. So
you're sleeping. You're sleeping in different beds, different pillows, different everything.
He's weak. He wouldn't be able to do it.
What a hater.
He wouldn't be able to do it. That's why we're on another level. We're elite. We're elite athletes, Adrian. You know what I mean? It's okay to agree that we're elite athletes. When you got guys that are making excuses, that kind of tells you
at
what type of
37, I wasn't playing. I'm not making an excuse. But at 37, my body did feel a lot worse than it did at 31. Like my body was slowing down for sure.
I'm 37 right now. I feel pretty good.
Right. Good. Hey, you look. That's why we want you to come back. You know what I'm saying?
Man, keep playing as long as you can play.
As long as you can.
Yeah, because I think because I mean I've been at that stage when the opportunities are no longer there, they ain't coming back. Yeah. So I applaud you for the years that you played, and if you can continue to play out, and especially obviously keeping your kids, keeping your girls in mind too. But yeah, I mean if you can play as long as you can play, man.
Absolutely. Yeah. So we do a segment on the show called Social Status Segment, where we like to talk about your social media presence that you have. Right?
Are you active on social media?
Yep.
Yeah, very, right?
So this is a great segment.
So,
all right, perfect.
Now,
I like it.
Twitter, Instagram could be any social media platform. Have you ever had anybody give you some drama or give you some feedback that you didn't like and you kind of clap back at them a little bit, or something didn't like that rubbed you the wrong way?
Well, it could be good or negative.
You mean like a troll?
Yeah.
There's always trolls. Yeah, for sure.
Did you ever go back at him like via Twitter or anything like that though?
I got maybe one time I might have gotten into it with somebody, but yeah, I don't remember what it. You know what? One time I do remember that it was the playoff game where I don't know if you remember against the Cubs where I kind of slid on the side of the thing and it was very like I felt like I was safe. The umpire called me out. I mean, I felt like I was safe. All the video I saw when you put the different sequences all in line showed, that I was probably never tagged until after I tagged home plate. But the way that the replay at the time, I guess they could only do it through one consecutive angle. They weren't able to piece the different angles together. Mm-hmm. Anyways, they kept it in out, and so I got a lot of fans, especially Cubs fans, trolling, and so I kind of went at it, just showing different angles and stuff.
Oh, okay. So you just showed him. You didn't like go back at him like, "Hey, you son of a whatever."
No.
So you manage by the facts. Look at here. Look at this. Look at this.
Yeah.
Look at this.
I mean, who am I talking to?
You don't even know. Some dude in his basement.
Yeah. I mean, even if they're not in the basement, but who? I mean,
right?
I mean,
it could be anywhere.
Who am I talking to?
Yeah.
It's just.
I mean, social media is big when it comes to sports. Again, it's, they have their opinion. They think they're right. They think they're your coach and they think they're your friend. And so it's like those moments when you're more emotional than any other moment.
Of course.
Some people
they
don't know how to handle those situations.
You can go down that path and get yourself in the black hole. That's for sure. I mean, it's just, it can be, yeah.
Hey, if social media was big when you were playing, you would have went down that rabbit hole, I think.
Oh, I'd be like Kevin Durant. I'd be snapping back. I'd be clapping back.
You see, but why? That's what I'm saying. Why? We don't know who they are.
It doesn't matter. They don't know who I am either. They just think they do. So what's the point? They think they do.
So, I'm coming out with an app. He would be a perfect candidate for it.
What's the app?
So we take
your behind up.
No, we take all of players' social media and we curate it and we create your own app. So we would create the TO app, and then in the back end we would make sure that none of those comments are even in there. So now he can control his voice, his brand, everything he does. He controls it, and then he can monetize his social media. So it's an
algorithm that takes certain words that take out or
no,
something.
No. We would create TO's app. He would have all his Instagram, Twitter, whatever, Facebook, TikTok, all his videos are all in his app. He could sell his own merchandise line out of it. He can sell his own memorabilia out of it. Okay. He could get his own brand partnerships out of it. But then he can have exclusive content. He can teach, kids how to catch a football, how to do all these things that he knows how to do. Mm-hmm. And then on top of it, when it comes to like back and forth with the fans, if a fan wants to troll, they can, but because they have to give us their email and their name and their address.
Exactly who they are. So be careful what you say. Yeah. Okay, that makes
so you're
sense.
not hiding behind an unanimous, post. So people that want to troll.
Cool. When is this app coming out? Cool. You guys are you working on it or you thinking about it?
We could create an app for you tomorrow.
Oh, well, let's get on it then. I'm all about monetizing. Monetization.
Yeah. What's the name of the app?
It would be the TO app. It would be. I have my own app.
Oh, so it's okay.
Everybody's gonna have their own app. So it's not a hub. Like there's all these some great companies out there. We're talking about Players Tribune and Uninterpreted and all these great companies, but they're all doing a hub. Mm-hmm. Where we're not a hub. We create an app for each individual athlete, so they can control their own brand.
And what would be the revenue split in this?
It's close to 50. It's like a 60-40.
Okay.
Yeah, we provide a ton of stuff in the back end, so we take about a 60, and then the player gets 40.
Okay.
Nice. Yeah. Okay. That's
the first thing is a free app. I mean, an app itself costs a ton of money.
Yeah, because that's a lot of work.
Yeah.
The apps is a lot of work.
Websites, all that stuff, man. Yeah. Well, we appreciate Adrian Gonzalez stopping by and get your popcorn ready, man.
I got one more question.
I got some more.
I got one more question.
Give him some gas. Give him some gas.
What is your highlight moment of your baseball career? And I know you think about 162 games. You played 15 years. That's a lot of games. Because I get that question all the time. Like, what was your best moment? What was your best touchdown?
I think my biggest accomplishment would be that for a 13-year span, and you can break it up into 4 10-year spans, I played the most games out of anybody in baseball.
Oh wow!
So like
longevity for you.
So like I was
Stay
able to play
healthy.
160 games plus for 13 straight years.
Wow.
So you
And
like
so-
the, like
Cal
Brett
Ripken.
Favre,
You like Cal
Brett
Ripken.
Favre,
Yeah.
Brett
Yeah.
Favre, and
So like I was gonna be in there.
Phillip Rivers. You
Yeah.
know, got so many consecutive starts.
Yep.
Were you close to catching Cal Ripken's record?
No.
Does he
I
play
think the most I got was 500 in a row.
Okay.
Which is still a lot. I mean,
That's
Cal
crazy.
Ripken was ridiculous, but
That's awesome, man.
but no, eventually it got to a point where it was like people were like talking about it, and I was like, you know what, just give me a day off so people stop talking about it.
Like I'm out today. I'm out.
So,
Did anything wrong? No, I'm just out.
Did we ask him who was your favorite baseball player growing up? Was?
No.
Tony Gwynn.
Tony
late,
Gwynn.
Yeah.
Okay.
late Tony Grant.
Yeah.
Wow, you got to meet him in San Diego.
Yeah,
and
no,
all that, right?
I got to meet him really well, and I mean, just
meet him
incredible.
when you were
I grew up with his son playing in San Diego, so
There you
we
go.
played travel ball and different things together, and so we got to be good friends, and I mean, just picking his brains all the time, and it's unbelievable. But before I even got to know him, he was already my favorite player, and so
Right. That's awesome, man.
Yeah.
And you get to grow up watching your hero
Mhm.
and then go in that sport. Yeah, that's a special thing, man.
yeah, it was.
We appreciate you coming by, man.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Like I said, anytime you want
appreciate
to
it.
Thanks for
come
having
talk
me.
about any, like I said,
Yeah.
the cigars, the beer,
Yeah.
Yeah, appreciate
all
it.
this, the app, all this stuff.
Where
man.
can the people out there? Where can we find you on social media?
Instagram, it's Adrian_El Titan.
Yeah, you
and,
might want to spell that.
What? Adrian underscore what? On the thumb.
say that again.
Capitan.
Yeah, and every platform. It's Adrian_El Titan. El Titan's my nickname. If in Mexico nobody knows me by Adrian Gonzalez, everybody knows me by Titan.
Really?
Oh,
There you
yeah.
go, a little nickname action.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
I know how that feels. They know me as Hatch. They don't know
There you go.
Matthew Hatchette. They know
They
me
don't-
as Hatch. Shut
They're
it up.
starting to know who he is.
Hitch.
Hitch. Yeah, that's what he is.
I'll take it. I'll take that. That's a wrap, ladies and gentlemen.
Hitch. Hey, production, make sure y'all change this next week. Get your popcorn ready with Tio and Hitch. We got the great Adrian Eltathan in the building.
So on our 3 and Out segment,
Yep.
so Adrian was talking about again, he was turning down jobs, on the East Coast. Like I said, he had some opportunities to play last year on the East Coast. He said he's like, I'm not tripping, I'm good.
Right, but that's the mindset of a baseball player, and probably it would be the mindset of a basketball player too, because their money is guaranteed.
Yeah.
That's why he can make decisions like that. So all you football players out there that may be watching the show, dude, take note. I know you guys are going through your CBA meetings and things of that nature, trying to get some stuff approved. Yeah. This is why you don't go with what the owners are trying to put in front of you.
Right.
This guy's turning down money.
Right.
Because he already had guaranteed money anyway. He probably still getting paid now.
Yeah. I think he made over $170 million during his career.
But that's what's so crazy to me.
And
is
guaranteed.
These football players, they don't understand the leverage that they have, especially going into this collective bargaining agreement.
This is the one. This is the one.
This is where they need to establish. Otherwise, they're going to be sitting around tweeting and on Instagram talking about what Major League Baseball is getting paid. They $200 million contract. They're going to be talking about basketball. They're 200
and we still making $6 million
contracts. Yeah. And trust me, there's so much that goes into really negotiating this new CBA that they need to be taking heed. If I'm them, I'm asking questions of guys that have played in the MLB, NBA. What did they do to implement
their CBA?
Yeah, their CBA.
Yeah. I mean, it's impressive. Another thing I was impressed with is, like I said, that led to him being able to have his business portfolio is crazy, right? Cigar, beer. And apps. You know what I'm saying?
Types of stuff,
what he had 11 Jersey Mikes, Subway sandwich.
But all of that
shops.
money is affording him the luxury
to
do that.
To do that. Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's impressive. It's impressive. Again, that's the business model that we want, other athletes to understand, like, you can do this, but there's certain things you have to do in your career as far as save your money and do the right things with your money in order to be able to do that.
Yeah, and I think it may have been Russell Wilson or Richard Sherman that tweeted out just the other day about, and I don't know if his message was to the owners or maybe his message was to the players, but he was basically saying, let's take a page out of what MLB
and NBA do.
And NBA does.
Absolutely.
I think that's very
absolutely. And another thing, he said, he wasn't going to take a job on the East Coast because of his family. That's how important his family is. Like having 2 little girls, 6 and 8. They're starting to get into sports now, and he's starting, he can kind of influence them on the athletic side, and he doesn't want to miss those days, which is very important.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure. Once you factor in family, especially kids and especially girls, and, this girl dad thing is a big thing now, then, I'm sure his mindset now is totally different than it was, 10 years ago.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Another thing that I liked about him, I liked his take on the cheating scandal. Obviously, like I said, to kind of take your baseball hat off for a second and put on the commissioner's hat. Like his take on, just making it no one wins.
No one wins. Give the rings back.
Yeah,
right?
In 2019, nobody won a championship.
Right.
You put an asterisk by it.
Right.
I trust me, the commissioner, Rob Manfred. I think this has been 2 incidences where the commissioner could have made moves that changed the culture,
for sure.
And just decision making based on infractions that have happened during the course of games.
Because everybody else would have been scared to do it. So right now you're saying they're not scared to do it. The penalty's not substantial enough where somebody's going to be like, you know what, I'm just going to get a slap on the wrist, like you said.
Right.
And it is what it is. I'll be right back.
And then let's go back to the whole New Orleans and Rams incident where the foul was, the PI was obvious. And then according to the rule book, the commissioner, he could have gone back and replayed that play from that time.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's in the rule book. So he could have done that.
Really?
Yeah, it's in the rule book.
Wow.
But that's what I'm saying. That he didn't have the cojones to pull and make that happen. And nobody would have thought too much about it. And even if he did make that and he had make that decision and there was a lot of backlash, he would have been covered because it's in the rule book.
It's in the rule book, yeah. It's black and white. Rule book is black and white.
That's his that was his opportunity, his choice to make, and he chose not to. In this situation, Rob Manfred, the commissioner of the MLB, Major League Baseball, he had a duty, especially based on this, because now, like I said, it goes beyond just penalizing them, but you're setting a precedent for kids and any sport alike that, okay, even though you get caught cheating, and even the commissioners of other sports, they're like, okay, yeah, we can fine the team heavily or whatever the case may be, but you're still a winner.
Yeah.
That's basically the message that you send into a lot of kids. You can cheat and still be
considered a winner, championship ring and all that. Yeah,
it's not cool.
But again, his take on it was great though. So there it is. Oh, there you have it with Adrian Gonzalez on Get Your Popcorn Ready with your boy Hatch and
T.O.
Subscribe on the Himalaya app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Yep.
Yeet.